Journal entry, 1st of the month of June, in the year of our Lord 1103. For 2 years we have campaigned. Never would I have dreamt that the Emperor would harbour such resentment and aim to defeat me on the field of battle, willing to throw away countless lives. Always we were outnumbered, and it was our skill, our knowledge of the lands, that kept us one step ahead at all times. It was the final fateful battle on the plains of Anjou, where once again hubris overcame me. Our men were eager to give battle one final time, arguing that surely the French army must be on the brink of desertion, the Emperor's image shattered. I believe that secretly they were aiming to get away from the coast, which was ravaged once more by an infernal plague. But alas, I relented and paid a heavy price. We arrived on the field as attackers, overconfident in our victory, only to find the French defending themselves with unheard of tenacity. Jourdan, my old friend, faced a fearsome giant. He fought valiantly, but the mountain of a man swung his executioner's axe in a crushing blow that slew Jourdan instantly. Alderic, seeing my knights falter, stormed to their defense, and his courage rallied them, but he paid the price as well, as one of the Emperor's knights got to his side and slammed his face with a mace. The healers did what they could to treat him, and he recovered from his wounds, but he has refused to take off the mask they have given him to hide his disfigurement since, as he believes his hideousness would be too repulsive to witness. As the plague ravages my lands and my court once more, heavy weighs the burden on me, the blood price that I have paid for the freedom of my people. May the Lord have mercy on my soul, forgive my sins, and let this cup pass, if that is his will. As the plague ravages the lands all the way from Toulouse to the papacy, and is already making its way through my court, we have some positions to fill once more. We have some control to regain. I think Quercy is, Quercy has very low control, so we actually have no control growth. So let's see if we can get Farah to change to improve control. It looks like we can't. Interestingly enough. Okay, not sure why. But control is very low and is currently not growing. It should actually be growing due to the. It still counts as occupied. It shouldn't count as occupied. This is part of Toulouse now. Okay, that might just something that'll eventually move itself off. We'll see. But for now we have liberated the lands and the Duchy of Toulouse is complete. But yes, we have positions to fill. We have a court brewmaster that we could hire, who would reduce the cost of a feast. We'll probably do that once the plagues are over. But one of the bodyguard positions is vacant, so we'll get Modan, who hasn't gotten any other position, as my bodyguard. He's very compassionate, so he will make a good man for this position. Obviously, Hermescens is busy with controlling the plagues, and. We have Aldebrand doing what he can to improve our control over the domain. There is still a scheme going on to murder me, so we are obviously having the guards redoubled, which currently is making everybody rather unhappy. If we sort that by opinion. Our newly arrived courtier Niccolo, who is an excellent steward. Let's see if we can. He would make a better steward than Emo, that's for sure. yeah, Emo the one-legged at this point, but we will not fire Emo. He's one of my older friends. And the children, we have a guest, Bernat de Narbonne. No, he is a treacherous opportunist, not particularly interested, and some of my knights don't have the highest opinion of me, but we will see how this goes. For now, the biggest problem is obviously the plague, and Alderic, who has been disfigured, has since started to wear armor and is refusing to take it off. So I believe my son's mind has somewhat taken damage as well, as part of as a part of the ongoing events. Okay, so I've unpaused, so the control growth. Okay, control growth is not there. Does that mean that I can get Farah to? Okay, so he is currently in Gévaudan, but Gévaudan is already relatively good, so we're going to get him to move to Quercy immediately and begin taking control of that. And we'll get Tarkulf to work on some domestic affairs for now, because we have bishops and mayors that are vassals of ours, and yes, we have Count Emeric in the dungeon right now. Now, the bigger problem obviously is the plague, and so far none of my immediate family have caught it, although Ogier, who is currently still in the Aquitanian court, is still somewhat ill, and I am not too happy about these news. But for now, he's at least somewhat safe from the plague, as safe as anybody can be. So we will see how things develop from here. And another murder scheme in these dark times. Arnaud is. It has to be Amaury or his wife, Constantia, my wet nurse, who is attempting to murder once more. So it's another murder scheme going on. We have the guards redoubled. The people, obviously, given the severity of the plague that is spreading along the lands here, and it's really spreading. The people have demanded, given that the plague is beginning to show even in the peasant's house, not just in the noble's house, that Emeric of Auvergne be burnt at the stake as a heretic, because they blame him for it, and so far I have resisted these calls, but I believe the time has come that we can no longer have doubts. He is a non-believer. He is a known follower of Satan, and he is in the dungeon in Toulouse, and the people are up in arms demanding that he be executed on the stake. So this is what we shall do. He shall be burned, and it shall at least appease those who believe that he is behind the plague, and hopefully bring some peace to the lands in these dark times. And that means we can the treacherous villain Robert V of Auvergne, his son, has taken over the county. And at this point, I shall grant him his independence, and because this is not part of the Duchy of Toulouse, and as such, I have no use for these villains in my I have no use for these villains in my realm. So we've got Auvergne avoided, and this puts at least an end to that particular chapter. The plague is still running, and I have entered in an entrenched regency apparently with my courtier Ines. What happened here? Some month ago, Mayor Anselmes began clearing lands in the forest of Mende to prepare for settlement. Trees are uprooted, paths are cut, and ground is swaled. He has now written my steward Emo to request that his levy duties be reduced. Being anxious to complete the work before next harvest, he hopes to instead recruit soldiers for labors. So we can, yeah, absolutely. We could get we could get the whole entirety of Gévaudan to do that. Yes. So let's do that. Why am I in a regency? So what's going on here? Probably because we're in seclusion. That's that might be the case. Because we have locked everything down and we are secluded. So it could be that that the wife of Eadwig of Exeter is the one who is currently running the country, the duchy, in my stead. That's probably what I am thinking. So you should yeah, development and things. Okay, we will. Okay, I'm not sure what we need to do here to end that, but I'm assuming that it's because we are in seclusion. But as long as the plague is ravaging the lands, this is as it should be, unfortunately. As death is sweeping through the court in his dark robes and his bony scythe, the latest victim was Richwara von Kleve, who has been with us for a long time, and who was my antiquarian. I don't think we have anybody else to even replace her. So we will deal with that situation. We will deal with that situation once everything has cleared, because right now we do not even know how many people are going to survive the dark times. She's not the first death, but at least right now, I think only Ebon, the son of Charles and Elisa, is afflicted, and we will see if he can, at least in his young days, survive the plague. That is still ravaging the lands, and for now we have isolated the family to ensure that we are not affected. Bon has recovered, and with that, I think at this point we have yes, we are free of the plague, and the people are somewhat rejoicing, because while the surrounding areas are still being ravaged, it has not moved any further, and so far our lands have been able to resist the plague. That means, despite my current absence, we will probably start improving the lands a little bit. We have just to increase our tax revenue. So let's take a look where we could. I think if we were to improve the crop fields, it would give us 0.3 plus 1% holding taxes. If we were to improve the pastures, it would be 0.2. So I think the crop fields are a good start. And I don't think we have any things, but we do have the opportunity to clear land for a legendary building, for a legendary statue. Okay, let's see. Select the barony. Okay, so Rodez is where we are going to clear the ground. Grounds are clear, and Rodez has gained a building slot for the legendary statue. Let's see what that looks like. So 950 gold. yeah, that's not worth it. And I don't have that much coin, to be honest. But maybe one day a statue shall be erected. But for now, we'll be improving the crop fields in Toulouse, and that hopefully gives our farmers a better position until things are complete. The latest work of my acquaintance, Count Egbert, has become all the rage at the court. It's one of these. So he's written. I think he did that before. I'm not sure if it was him, but he's written a poem about me again. The mightiest men must leave this earth, their deeds, their acts, their swollen worth. It is rare enough for men to admit that all they leave behind is shit. Oh my dear, oh my dear. Truly heartfelt, my friend. Let's make sure that nobody else gets to see this. The greatest poet in the realm he is not, but we shall see if these plagues will finally recede, or for how much longer we have to deal with this situation. It looks like in my absence, people have become even more intimidated by me. My dread is up to 57. Good grief. Let's hope that eventually reduces itself. But we also have a stewardship perk. I think. What else? We could go down the administrator tree, or we could go down the architect tree, but there is not an awful lot that's really important here. This is vassal contributing. We don't want to extort any subjects. Men-at-arms maintenance per dread. That would actually be quite good. Fearful troops. But I do not wish to be a dreadful ruler. And I am getting on in age there. So we'll simply just go down the architect. Organized muster rolls. We'll simply go down that route, and we'll see when we can actually get out of seclusion, and if that plague keeps going for much longer. In these dark times, Ebon, who has recovered from the plague, got married to a not so young, a French woman whom he met, and who he said was, who is a renowned physician, and who he said was responsible for his miraculous cure. So the two of them got married, and she will be the antiquarian. So we'll appoint her to improve the artifacts, which reminds me, I'm going to actually have to take a look and see if anything here is no, everything is still holding pretty well. We have no court artifacts, and we could commission an artifact, but it costs 100 coin, and that's more coin than we currently have. And anyway, we're in seclusion, so there's that. Finally, after years, as it feels, the plague has left the realm, and we must take this as an opportunity to rise from the chaos it left in its wake. We now emerge from the wreckage of the old world, and the time has come to consider the new. So we could get development growth, actually, +5 per month for 49 coin. That's definitely worth it. Although I think it was just Toulouse. So the growth is definitely quite impressive by now. However, the plague is still around, but I believe it is not yet time for my family to emerge from seclusion, because the neighboring counties are still affected. But it looks like after all this time, it is finally beginning to recede. So we shall still wait until the news becomes clear. But the capital is no longer isolated, which is good, and I think the plague is beginning finally to recede and to make its way out from the coastline. So once we're clear, on the coast and in Bourgogne, then no further reports of infected, then we shall leave the seclusion and once again take over the reins. Currently, it's Ine who is running the duchy in my stead. I have spent my time in the tower writing down and communing with the Lord, and it seems that the mayor of Cahors has heard about it, so I will be happy to share my guidance, and I have received a new learning lifestyle. So let's see what I think scientific might be, the scholar path might not be a bad one. Let's do that. And we have picked up yet another perk, but the plague, as it recedes, is still there. There's still a risk, there's still a risk to become infected. Volkart is doing a great job. And the hamlets have been constructed in Toulouse, which is great news, which should increase the amount of farming that we can do and overall improve the lands. Finally, the last of the plague has been cleared and we are no longer afflicted by it, which means that we can emerge from seclusion after this long time away and see what has been going on in the duchy. The first thing we're probably going to have to do is retake the regency from Ine, who has done a great job. So we'll end that, and she will accept because she is while she has gotten used to ruling. I think I will owe her a favor in return. I think that's something that she has deserved. So we'll discharge her, and with that, the power sharing should no longer be effective. There we go. Right. The power sharing has ended, and we are once more in control of the duchy officially. She has done a great job. So now it is time to look forward and to begin to begin seeing what we can do. I think the very first thing we probably should be doing is to hold a funeral for those who we have lost, because many of my courtiers have lost loved ones. Some have remarried, but for example, Emmo's wife Valiken has died from the smallpox, and she's not the only one. So I think burying the dead is going to be something that we will do once we have sufficient coin and everything has been organized. Troubling news has been brought to us. The Muslim who live nearby in the Iberian lands have told us that the House of Islam is under grave threat from the onslaught of heathens and infidels in its very heartlands. In response, His Magnificent Caliph Radi has declared that an era of renewed jihad, the holy war, is upon the world. The core regions of Dar al-Islam must be retaken at all costs. All righteous Muslim faithful should prepare to join the ranks of the Mujahideen for the upcoming struggles. This could be the beginning of unprecedented Muslim aggression. St. George protect us, definitely. So it looks like there is some unrest going on in potentially the Holy Lands. And we will see how the aging Pope Sergius, who is infirm at this point, my old friend the Pope, is dealing with this situation. So we shall see. However, the first thing is that we will have to deal with burying the dead and making sure that everybody is grateful for the end of the troubling times. My friend the Pope, after long illness and at the ripe old age of 73 years, has died. And with that, I believe a new Pope, Pope Alexander III, who is a wheezing man, has been installed. And obviously, we don't quite have the same report as I had, but he is a learned man, a mastermind philosopher, and hopefully his rule will be just, and his direction will bring us closer to the Lord. We shall hold a funeral for Jourdain de Petra, and for everybody else who has been slain in battle or lost to the plague in these past years. And we will do it in the bishopric of Pamiers, because that had been most affected by the recent plague. So we shall travel there to start the funeral. And Pamiers is to be Jourdain's final resting place, and I'm left alone to gather my thoughts and prepare for the arrival of the honored mourners. The wake has begun, even the children are being brought along, and the shadows of mourners no longer loom over me, and I am at last given a moment alone. What quiet comfort I could take in such a moment without the rattling and prattling of other guests in my ears, just me and my thoughts of Jourdain and everybody else who has been lost in these dark days. All eyes fall upon Takulf as he falls to the ground in lamentation, hands coating. Takulf has been through hell in his life, hands coating his reddened eyes from view. His sorrowful gasps and chokes have left his fellow mourners breathless, and many offer him comfort and reverence, as if it were him who was to be committed to the hereafter. So we could gain some legitimacy, but of course it's my friend, my old friend, my chancellor, my old friend Takulf, who's been with us since the very beginning. So I will offer him comfort. So we have bonded over the shared loss. The sorrowful line marches on, the line to have a last moment with Jourdain, a last whisper, a last long goodbye, a last nothing at the last place anyone will see him again. Truly a privilege it is to be here. The line brings me ever closer until at last the figure in front of me parts, and there is nothing but a veil between me and him. So I could speak of his virtues or attempt to make a speech promising to rule in his honor. I think we will try that and see if that works. I did make a fool of myself, unfortunately, which has cost me some legitimacy. But such is life, really. Of all the figures venerated and villainous, none have been desired more than our departed Jourdain. With his crowd of weepers and gawkers finding other subjects to satisfy their fascination, I am at last left with a moment of solace. I could become a better duke, or have a quiet prayer. I think I promise to be a better duke, because this is really... And Cecile, my antiquarian, has given me a brooch. I and the other mourners take a reprieve from our grief to enjoy a great bounty of food. Countess Escamont of Bellac, usually the lifeblood of any feast. She must be one of our guests, now sits across me misty-eyed with an untouched goblet at her side. How can we make ourselves fat and merry in times like these? The guests seem to agree there is wisdom in her lamentation. I can join. I can give a round of drinks for everybody, for 40 legitimacy, and I think we should drink to his honor, Jourdain. He would have wanted us. Okay, more positive things happening. And we have completed the construction. Volkart is busy tutoring the kids. And Faidida is becoming friends with one of the other kids. The mourners move through the hall weeping in a kind of macabre dance, the unsettling silence of a people holding back what they so desperately wish to do. Silent screams never to part their lips, hard-fought battles against tears being lost, so ashamed of their own grief. I rise to my feet and allow myself to get lost in the dance with my fellow mourners. We gained some piety out of that and lost some more stress. And I think the mourning is Radomir brawls with Constantia. Okay, these two are not getting along. Brave of Constantia to do that. But the burial will happen, and with that, the time has come to commit his final rites before the journey to the hereafter. His enshrouded body is held suspended above an open grave, surrounded by close friends and family. I can hardly bring myself to look upon him, and even now I struggle to believe this truly our last moment together. So, all in all, legitimacy has been increased to rightful. It wasn't just Jourdain's funeral. It was for everybody. The wives lost, all the men who have died on the fields of battle, and with that, we're concluding this. We're concluding the funeral, and we are returning to Toulouse, where my hair is starting to turn white, and I believe sooner or later it will be my time to hand over my reins to my son. Once again, we have returned, and we could ask the head of faith for some coin to improve our lands, and I think that is definitely something that we should do, because we can put the coin to good use, to bring prosperity to the lands of Toulouse, for the future of our children, who, well, Alderic is still wearing the scars of his battle, who he will probably wear forever. Raoulf, his righteous brother, and it looks like Ogier is still at Duke Eudesis' court at this point. We should see, we might have to do something. Antoine is about to come of age, and the girls themselves as well are growing up. Faidida does look a little odd, a little different, but after all these years, we love her nonetheless.